As soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I've never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because of one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing.
For a tiny little window there, it seemed like everybody was really excited about Donald Trump finally brokering peace between Iran and Israel. He gave them about a 12-hour window to wrap up their operations and bring everything to a close. However, of course, the Middle East being what the Middle East is, you have Iran apparently launching attacks into Israel and Israel retaliating. And of course, Donald Trump is very upset about all of this. Now, does that mean the ceasefire is still off? Not necessarily. Because of Donald Trump's interaction, Netanyahu has said that yes, the phone call he gave is why Israel chose not to escalate even more attacks than those that were planned. And now you have Iran coming out and saying, yeah, okay, we'll go ahead and stick with the ceasefire deal as long as Israel does. So we'll have to wait and see what happens, because officially it looks like all of this is supposed to take place completely at 9 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesday, the 24th. But with all of that being said, what I really want to see is Scott Jennings taking apart a panel over on CNN over this exact same topic. But before we get to these clips, don't forget to like and comment on this video so we can break through the algorithms. Here we go.
How do we actually get Iran to not have a nuclear weapon? That's really where we're at.
Well, functionally, we did it, with these strikes. I mean, what he did was a courageous move, and working in concert with our special partner, Israel, we let them pummel them, take out their air defenses, and then we swoop in the way only we can with these B-2 bombers and these special massive ordnance penetrators, and we deal with the situation. So it was great tactically. Ultimately, the only way to get Iran to stop seeking a nuclear weapon, I suppose, would be if the people of Iran rose up and tossed these butchers out and got themselves a new government. I'm not suggesting that we should be involved in that, but you would hope someday that the people of Iran would decide to have, something more like a normal government where, you're not constantly trying to get nuclear weapons to bring about the end of the world, which is effectively what they're constantly trying to do. But today is a great day for Americans. It's a great day for Western civilization.
Scott, my problem is the Trump administration is taking a victory lap as if they're the only ones who planned this. And
occasionally the correct answer is just,
rolled the dice.
Good job, President Trump. Well done. Occasionally that's the right answer.
But he rolled the dice. We don't know how this is going to end. Is this going to bring about peace? I'm not sure. If you want to say tonight, for sure, 100%, it's peace. I'm actually willing to kind of look at that bet, because over the course of time,
you're hoping for something else?
No, I'm not.
Well, they did call Schumer, and I know they talked to him, and they tried to call Jeffries, who apparently didn't pick up the phone. So I know some calls were made. Look, one of the ways to keep things from leaking is to not tell a bunch of people who leak. And so, I'm sensitive to this.
The Gang of Eight,
this is a pretty sensitive operation. There was a lot of misdirection. There was a lot of stuff going on here.
It's a close hold.
I know, and they called Schumer, and they tried to call Jeffries, and they told the Republicans. And look, we're not going to debate this in an open committee hearing when we're, on a tight time window. You got bombers going one way, bombers going another way. I mean, this thing had to be held airtight. And that's what they did, and it worked perfectly.
I worked for an anti-war president, and I saw. No, he was. He ran against.
How many countries did you bomb the crap out of?
Well, that's what I'm going to say.
Lord have mercy.
No, like you guys didn't just use bombs for diplomacy. But
do you want to put the scorecards up against each other?
I'm happy to put up scorecards.
You all are the key.
I got lots of scorecards.
The continuity that work in both parties. If both parties have the country, you can't violate national sovereignty of a country.
Why?
Why?
We do it all the time.
I know, because America violates international law.
Who's going to stop us?
Decades,
you would think morality ought to play some role.
You think it's immoral to stop Iran from getting a nuclear weapon?
I think that any condition.
Who's the moral actor here, Iran or the United States?
In terms of ensuring that we don't have nuclear bombs anywhere?
No, in terms of ensuing, these butchers don't have nuclear bombs that they have fully said they will use on Israel.
Well, we got a larger discussion. We've got the United States, Israel.
There's no equivocation.
What they've done in Gaza gives neither one of them moral authority. That's a genocide. It's ethnic cleansing. Israel has no moral authority. The United States has no moral authority.
Disagree.
You think there's some? No, we just had deep disagreements on that. But I'd like to hear your Christian formulation.
So your alternative is to allow them to develop and deploy a nuclear weapon?
My brother?
Hold on a second.
Where does the love? Where's the love for you, for Iranians, and for Palestinians and others?
We don't live in a theocracy, but they do, and their theology.
I don't defend theocracy.
Their theology is to get a nuclear weapon, destroy Israel, and destroy the great Satan, which is the United States. Our government is based on one thing: national defense. And what's in the best interest of our national defense is for these fanatics not to have a nuclear weapon where they can wipe us off the map. It has nothing to do with Christian or whatever. It has everything to do with national defense.
And you don't think there's fanatics? That when you attack a nation like Iran, the quickest lesson one learns is to make sure you now have a nuclear weapon so you're never attacked again. That's the only reason why Israel got its weapon in 1966. That's why North Korea got its weapon. That's why France got its weapon. That's why the United States and Russia got their weapon. And for those of us who go all the way back to the United States to kill 250 million people in 2 days in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, that's not a high moral moment for the Americans.
So Jamil, what do you...
This is the original sin. JCPOA was the original sin by allowing Iran, a terrorist state, to have domestic enrichment capabilities. That was the mistake by the Obama administration. It was the right thing for President Trump to walk away from it.
It depends. This is the first time we've ever actually gone this far. In the past, I think they thought, well, you know, Americans aren't strong enough or bold enough to actually come in here and do something about it. We'll talk. They'll send us pallets of cash, whatever. In this case, we sent Operation Midnight Hammer. It's the first time we've gone that far, so maybe it will prove to be a deterrent for the future.
So the main opposition we're hearing about what Donald Trump did in Iran is basically it's only Congress who has the power to declare war. But here's the thing. Donald Trump, of course, did not declare war against Iran. He authorized a strategic strike to stop them from getting a nuclear weapon. And of course, that's another sticking point that people have is that, oh, he violated the sovereignty of Iran. And this somehow violates the rules of war. But here's the thing. The rules of war do allow for retaliation, okay? And Iran has been attacking us sporadically through themselves or proxies for 40 years, all right? So could you actually say that Donald Trump has an imminent threat to respond against? Yeah, every single day when it comes to Iran, because you never know what they're going to do next, okay? And Donald Trump, as president, does have the authority to act to an imminent threat as long as he gives Congress notification within 48 hours, which, of course, as Scott Jennings points out, he actually did, right? He contacted Chuck Schumer, but somehow couldn't get a hold of Hakeem Jeffries, which, of course, is not a good look for the opposition. And all the main points to everybody who opposes what Donald Trump actually did, it really is meaningless, okay? Because all of this stuff has happened so much in the past, and no one really said anything about it. Sure, you had some protests, sure, you had people out there unhappy, but no one brought it to the level of all of these screaming people out here worried about World War III. And of course, we have the former Obama official on there trying to justify everything Obama did. Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the scorecard on that, all right? Obama's military strikes: 12,000 bombs dropped in Syria, 12,000 in Iraq, 1,000 in Afghanistan, 496 in Libya, 35 in Yemen, 14 in Somalia, 3 in Pakistan. Obama was the Obama-in-chief, okay? And the main sticking point we had about Obama, by the way, was the fact that he did actually execute. He dropped a bomb on an American citizen. But the main point, in my opinion, is that so far, this seems to have been an effective tactic, all right? Donald Trump went in, he wiped out some nuclear facilities, he got back out, no boots on the ground thus far, and hopefully we have a peace deal that is going to stick, but we'll have to wait and see until later tonight, okay? So in the meantime, I'm optimistic, I'm hopeful this will actually work, because we can withdraw our aid from Israel, they wouldn't like that, and we can drop more bombs on Iran, and they wouldn't like that. And as a final point, I do love the way that Scott Jennings points out that, yeah, Iran thought it was business as usual this time, right? They're going to do a little strike, we're going to apply for peace, maybe send them a whole bunch of money in the dead of night, but guess what? There's a new sheriff in town, one that doesn't like to be messed around with, and one actually, surprisingly enough, who wants to have peace above everything else. So thank you very much, Donald Trump, and my fingers are crossed in this scenario. So don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and say hi to your mom for me. Do you like t-shirts? Of course you do. And now you can support the channel by buying an Angry Teacher t-shirt designed by me, Angry Teacher. So if you like America, if you like freedom, if you like liberty, then go ahead and click the link in the description, where all designs, of course, are 100% mother approved. So enjoy yourself and find something you like today.